Another case of deadly force by police and growing outrage, this time in Pasco, Washington. The victim, an unarmed Mexican immigrant, an unemployed orchard worker, he was throwing rocks. Police fired 17 bullets, about 6 of them hit him. And just like in Ferguson, New York, protesters are filling the streets of Pasco. The calls for justice as far away as Mexico amid questions of excessive force. Now, the deadly encounter, it was caught on video. Rosa Flores reports from Pasco.
The final moments of Antonio Zambrano Montes' life went viral, showing a chaotic foot chase by Pasco, Washington police and what investigators believe are 17 gunshots fired at an unarmed man.
Tiempos buenos, había tiempos malos.
Zambrano Montes' aunt, overcome by emotion, telling me she and her nephew left the same small Mexican village in search of the American dream.
En una caja sin poder.
And now, she says, he's returning home in a coffin. Antonio Zambrano Montes was a husband and a father of 2 who investigators say was throwing rocks at cars on a busy street, leading police to respond first verbally, then with a stun gun. Then police say he started throwing rocks at police as well, including one the size of a softball. And as the dramatic video shows clearly, he makes a run for it, officers closely behind him. Investigators say 3 officers fired 17 shots, 5 or 6 of them striking and killing the 35-year-old. Police say he didn't have a gun or a knife and haven't offered an explanation why they opened fire.
We do know this from the preliminary autopsy report. There were no shots in the back.
Strongly disagreeing with that statement?
And the truth is there were 2.
Family attorney Charles Herrmann.
In my opinion, they're saying that because they want to maintain that they didn't shoot him as he was running away.
Herrmann points to an independent autopsy report ordered by the family that shows Zambrano Montes was shot not 5 or 6 times as police reported, but 7 or 8 times, including 5 or 6 times in the front and twice in the back of his body. The shooting happened during rush hour with people and cars everywhere. And now a memorial with a cross where he fell. And look over here, bullet holes on the wall of this bakery. A popular spot in town to break bread and read the paper.
Just a miracle that no one was hit by the rounds other than Antonio.
Felix Vargas, a Hispanic community leader, says this is not a case of blatant racism.
This was just one case of bad cops showing the worst that can happen. They must face charges and they must go to trial. I don't think anyone in the community expects anything less.
Zambrano Montes' aunt says she checks the papers and watches more news than ever before.
Quisiera una vez cerrar los ojos.
But no sign of justice yet. Only the memory of her nephew and what he leaves behind. Anderson, Pasco police tight-lipped about the use of deadly force. Their spokesperson telling me that the department doesn't plan to comment until the investigation is completed. Now, I've got to show you where the shooting happened because it's one of the busiest intersections in town, and that shooting actually started where you see that dirt parking lot. Zambrano Montes ran across this street, up this sidewalk, and fell where you see the small memorial with the cross. Now hear this. This is not the first time that there's an officer-involved shooting in this area. The prosecutor telling me that there's been at least 4 in the past 6 months. He also tells me that none of those officers have been charged. Anderson?